Gotcha.
Is this going to work? Like, what will happen when my brain is gone? When Melissa comes in, will I be able to stay as a panelist?
I'm going to make you host now.
Oh,
you're host, so you're in control.
Fantastic. Okay.
Melissa comes in, you just need to make her a panelist so that she can be seen. And that's it.
Okay, fantastic.
Oh, she might be here. Oh no, that's Rachel. Hi, Rachel. We actually haven't started yet, but enjoy our pre-chat chatting.
You're coming to the dress rehearsal, which you're very welcome to. Okay, I'm just going to write down what Ella sent me.
Oh yes, that's just a little bit about the jewels. Be my mental health mate.
Yeah. Oh, you're right.
Oh, Gillian. Hello, Gillian, as well. Welcome to our practice run.
I like people who are early. I'm an early person.
I normally put it on early and then sort of walk away from my computer knowing that it's on, so I can just jump in when I feel like it's ready to go.
I feel anxious. Hi, Rachel. I feel anxious if I'm late to something.
Yeah.
But I also feel like sometimes it would be good for me to turn up late to things because it would, like, the world probably wouldn't end.
Yeah.
I can be like hours early for things. Planes, flights, trains.
Well, it's definitely better than being hours late. I have a friend who, honestly, I'll say let's meet at 2, but knowing she'll be there at 2:30, so I end up getting there at 2:20 just because I know she'll be late. But that causes me anxiety in case she's not. Gillian, no, you don't have to go. Just can mute us until it starts.
No, Gillian, don't go. Don't go, Gillian, stay. Yeah. There's the kind of like there's got to be a balance, hasn't there, between like it's okay to be slightly late, but when you're compulsively late, I have a friend who like I forget because she's younger and she's single and she's cool. I forget. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna meet so and so for my lunch, and then they're like, oh, like Saturday, and then they're like, oh, sorry, I've just got up, I'm on my way, and you're like, I've been here 2 hours. Because I got
my 5th coffee.
I got here early because just in case I didn't want to be late. Oh,
have a great. I'll be watching. Okay, perfect. That's Ella.
I wrote up my interview with the speaker today.
Oh yeah, how was it? Oh no, you haven't had it. When is it? Tomorrow?
No, I've done it. I've written it up.
Did it?
Up today. I'm really proud of myself because I thought this was going to be really difficult, but actually it was quite easy because he said so much about
what we'll find out when you publish it.
About the despicable people working alongside him, but it was, yeah.
Oh, well, at least it was maybe something you can get on board with.
Yeah.
Makes it easier to write.
Yeah, it was good. I haven't got any makeup on. I'm fresh faced.
Yeah, great. And your hair, I love this chop.
Yeah,
I don't know if you had it chopped. I
had it chopped on Saturday. I thought I better make an effort. People have paid to come and see me at Alexandra Palace. So I went and got my roots done.
Yeah, you look great.
I had a chop and I sat and read about Lindsay Hoyle, about Erskine May and parliamentary procedure for 3 hours in the hairdresser,
and then fell asleep with your head massage.
Oh,
the best bit.
Yeah. Okay. Right. What am I doing?
I've already set it to record, so this bit is recording, but I can delete it if we use it in the future.
Yeah, I'm sure that people will be tuning in. I'm surprised Rachel and Gillian are still listening. Probably not.
Probably quickly making a bit of
cup of tea for dinner
and snacks.
Keep hoping I divulge something I shouldn't be party to. Gillian. Now
Oh, Melissa's here. Do you want to add Melissa as panelist?
Oh, right, okay. Hang on. How do I do that?
So at the bottom,
Oh, yeah.
you should see participants and then go to...
Got it, I think. Hooray!
Hooray!
Oh, it's glorious, Melissa. Unmute. I'm asking to unmute.
I said, I'd just been with you and Sean Fletcher in the bath.
What? Have you? Oh, that's
I realised I'd missed that episode, so I thought, I'll watch it. Just, to then see how wonderfully they did it. And it was good fun in the bath. Great chat in the bath.
You look glorious. You
Yeah,
are glorious.
so fresh.
How are you, my love?
You guys are looking gorgeous. Thank you so much for asking me. Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, Melissa, you're the best.
Top
person.
ambassador.
We love you.
No, I want to do more. I want to do more, and not in a kind of I want to do more. I want to do more.
I've got this really good idea. I tell you what,
Come in, Henry. Bless Henry's bringing me some chamomile tea. This is Henry, everyone.
Hi, Henry.
Hi.
What a blessing! What a saint!
I know.
Maybe Melissa, we could go out for lunch and discuss, because then I can see you and give you a big squidge.
I'd like a big squidge. Big old squidge and lunch with you.
I haven't seen anyone for 2 years and I've got to leave my house. I've got to stop using this pandemic as an excuse to isolate.
Bryony, can I just tell you, did I message you this or did I do it in my dream? I have just covered your book with stuff, and now I'm really paranoid. I might just start quoting your book as if I wrote a line. Like you've got so into my head that I might just start saying stuff and you go, I wrote that.
But everything in that book that I that wrote was probably told to me by someone else. Like,
yeah, it's the best way, right?
And then also it's all stuff that I really need to like
do. You said.
Yeah. I feel like we're gonna like do the talk before the talk starts. Can I ask you something? You went to 3 Mile Beach.
Yeah.
What did you think of it?
Oh, I loved it. What about you? You don't love it?
No, I loved it.
I've been twice.
Have you?
Well, the first time I got invited, which was nice. I assumed you did, but
No, I paid for
it. You look like you're in the bath as a holiday influencer.
What's 3 Mile Beach? Is that a really nice place in Cornwall?
Yeah,
it's where we're going to do a mental health mates Christmas party that we've never done.
Yeah, it's a bit like Cornwall for people. Like, it's a bit like Soho Farmhouse in Cornwall.
Oh
yeah, but a bit more shell motif and a bit less linen.
Yeah, and you're right on the beach in Gwithian, and the seals.
Yeah, they're adorable.
There are seals, like baby seals.
No, it's just like they're not like there as like a gift to you. It's like a welcome.
And yeah, they're not there for Instagram, but honestly, it's we're lucky that we've gone now, because it's going to get super popular, isn't it? And we probably got it the quietest time. We'll go. Yeah, we went
for New Year's Eve. It was so nice, and they like bought you canapes in the house on New Year's Eve.
Oh, you were there on New Year's Eve? Oh, bloody hell! I just check on my face.
And what's Watergate Bay like?
Oh, it's next level.
Is it? Okay.
It's next level expensive. It's a proper so we booked it in September. We booked it for this May for Henry's birthday, because we haven't done anything for the last 2 years. But the Watergate Bay, for me, it's all about being right on the beach. You've got to either get a beach loft or something that's got the proper beach view, because otherwise I just think in Cornwall, if you're not right on the beach, don't spend all of that money. If you are on the beach, then that's where you're sort of spending the money, because you just want to sit on the sofa and stare at that view and watch it change throughout the day. That's just what I do when I'm there.
Yeah, well,
I'm giving you all my Cornwall tips. You going?
Well, we go to Cornwall. We go to Cornwall quite a lot, but I haven't been to Watergate Bay. Are
we chatting to everyone?
No, I was just saying this is the pre-chat, don't worry.
I could just see people's names and I'm going, everyone's probably desperate to chime in with their Cornwall tips.
Yeah. Everyone, this is turning in to, I tell you what, it's got 1 minute until, so why don't we let people come in?
I'm going to head off and then come back in as a guest.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for organising us.
Don't worry, everyone. It's not a Cornwall travelogue, but we can make it a Cornwall travelogue if you want. We are here to please. Oh, okay. So it's 6 o'clock now. Let's wait for a few more people to pour in, and then we can start, Melissa.
Yay! Thanks, everyone. Everyone can chat, can't they? I'm just keen to know. Bryony, I haven't even asked you. 6 o'clock is like, for me, it's like, did I have a pre-dinner snack? Or do I, then just race into dinner straight after this? What did you do?
Okay, so I had some I had some Brazil nuts. No, Gillian, you do not need to turn on your camera. You just relax.
Gillian, sit back and chill.
Sit back, put your feet up, listen. It's me and Melissa chatting, and why don't we? It's now 6 o'clock, so why don't we just kick it off? And
welcome everyone.
Yeah, welcome everyone to MHM Mental Health Mates at Home, our webinar this month with the glorious, the beautiful, the incredibly talented Melissa Hemsley.
Oh, thank you, Bryony. I'll say all of those back to you, except I can't remember what you said, because that is where my memory retention is at the moment. Hello, everybody. I recognize some names. Hello. Come on in. If you're just arriving, you've not missed anything.
Well, you've missed our Cornwall recommendations, but we can go back to that. So anyway, if anyone hasn't been to one of these before, you don't have to switch your camera on, you don't have to do anything, you just have to sit, relax, watch, listen, and you can put questions. If you do have questions, put them in the Q&A. So you'll see at the bottom, there's a load of icons. I mean, there's obviously a load of icons just in the room, in attendance, watching. We're all iconic, but there's a load of actual computer icons: mute, stop video, participants, chat, all of that thing. Or maybe there isn't for you, but there is Q&A. If you have questions for Melissa, pop them in there, because then I can sort of check them. If you put them in the chat, then they kind of get lost and they're quite difficult to see. So tonight is all about chatting, it's about connecting, and we want to hear from you. You can put your thoughts in the Q&A, actually. It doesn't have to be a question, it can just be something that's occurred to you, and we're going to chat. And the whole point is we're trying to bring a bit of mental health mates to people at home, people who might be isolating or might not be well enough to kind of get out and go on one of our amazing walks, which are there for whenever anyone's ready. So let's kick off. Melissa, how are you? Really?
Well, really, I've been feeling today I've deliberately had a bit of a quiet day today, because I knew that we were doing this. This has been long standing in our diary and I've been looking forward to it loads. And so I've sort of realized with myself that where I can, and I can't always, if I can, I try to keep the afternoon leading up to an evening a bit gentler, so that the frazzle factor doesn't get too high. And so I was just telling Bryony, I was just in the bath watching an old Mental Health Mates at Home. I don't know if anyone was watching that one with Bryony and Sean, and really enjoying it, and genuinely feeling like it was live, and then thinking, no, it's not live, because I'm about to do the live one with you in a bit, because I did feel that connected to you. And it's funny, I haven't done much. I haven't really seen anyone beyond a couple of people really for a long time. And I went through these little moments of going, oh gosh, I hope I've got something useful to say tonight, or I hope what I want to say, which I kind of don't know till we talk, because we just go with the flow, don't we? I hope I get my words out right. And I don't know if anyone else has found this, but I was conscious of it before. The tireder I get, the more I've got on, I struggle to get my words out, and then I sort of replay and debrief the whole night. And I said to myself today, I'm not gonna say goodbye to everyone at 7 and say goodbye to Bryony and then replay this conversation in my head. It's a big thing that I do. I don't know if anyone else does it. Do you do it, Bryony? I don't do you do it, Bryony? I've read you talk. I've seen you read about it, and what a waste that would be of the night to do that.
I think you're right. I mean, I did a show on Sunday night at Alexandra Palace.
Yeah.
I nearly, like, I had COVID the week before and I was in isolation, and isolation was really bad for my head, you know, and I'd almost talked myself out of doing it. The anxiety had stopped, and I pulled myself together and I went and I stood on the stage. But the one thing I said is, you cannot, once you get off that stage, sit and worry about whether people liked it or whether people hated it. Did that bit go well? Was that bit do better? Which is what I always do with anything. Yeah. Like, it doesn't have to be an event or something like this. It can be, you know, it can be a piece of work. It can be anything.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say, Bryony, you got up, you turned up, you showed up, and you did it to the best of your ability, and that's all that matters. If you know you've done something to the best of your ability, that's all that matters. And we can't be for everyone. Do you know what I mean? No, like that isn't. But this has taken me a long time to get to. Yeah. Let me tell you.
How did you do that then? Did you give yourself that pep talk leading up to it on the day, or?
Yeah, and then also because my, you know, it's sort of like these reactions we have to things are kind of limbic. They're almost automatic, right? Mm-hmm. So it's I actually listened to an amazing woman who I would heartily recommend.
I brought my I hope everyone's got a notebook. I brought my notebook because I know that I'm supposed to be doing this, Bryony, but I knew there was going to be tips flying around.
I'm going to put it in the chat. Okay, a woman called Tara Brack. Yes. I think I spelled her surname right, but anyway, she is like a psychotherapist, meditation expert, and I find meditation very difficult. Okay, but anyway, she talks about this technique she has called RAIN, and RAIN stands for recognize, allow, inquire, and then nurture. So you recognize that you're doing something, you allow it, we don't judge it, we don't say, oh, why are you doing that, Bryony? Do you know what I mean? Like, you should be doing something like that. And then we inquire, so we look as to why we might do it, like it's because it's built into us, do you know what I mean? To be people pleasers and to want to like get our validation from other people. And we go, oh yeah, that's why I'm doing this. And then you nurture yourself and you say, okay, I'm not, this is helping me. And I think just in the last like week or so, I've realized that, you know, the answer to everything is about looking after yourself and being kind to yourself. And I hear this and I can stand up on stage and I can see it on Instagram memes, be kind, be kind, be kind. But I don't know about you, Melissa, but I know it intellectually up here, but I really need it to sink down to here. I'm starting up. I need to hear it. I need to have it.
What a great shirt. What a great shirt.
You know,
and feel it there, tip to toe.
And I've said this, and apologies if anyone has heard this on Sunday, but like, if I am punishing myself, berating myself, you know, doing that thing at 7 o'clock where, was that okay? Did I say that? That is not like a mentally healthy thing to do. That is sort of an isolating, and it's essentially going to make me unhappy. So we just, you know?
Do you know what? You just reminded me. I don't know if anyone else enjoys a bath or has a bath. I kind of... when I like always say to myself, like, you know, when I do get in the bath, I used to sometimes watch, I mean, I love a crime drama, which is just bizarre because I'm scared of everything. And I realized that perhaps was not the best thing for me to be doing of an evening. Heart racing, you know, I'd process it in the night, I'd have nightmares. So I thought, okay, I'm going to listen to great things at bedtime in the bath, whenever I get in the bath, once a week or so on. And I can just hear my boyfriend. I can imagine whenever I say to my bath, and my boyfriend always goes, she makes me get in the bath after her. I'm not allowed a bath just by myself. Let's reuse that water, yeah, Henry. And I always go after him. That's an aside. And I was like, I'm going to use this time to listen to kind of enjoyable and gentle talks. And this Oprah compilation came on, and she said whenever she used to do her interviews, almost every guest, including presidents or whoever, like, would say, was I okay at the end of the interviews? That's so interesting. Yeah. And you asked me how I am. I haven't asked you how you are yet, but I wanted to just say I've been working on a couple of things over the last 2 years. And sometimes I get a bit frustrated because I think I go 3 steps back, but now I understand that's natural. And I was about to say normal, but guys, there is no such thing as normal. We'll talk about that in a minute. She's not going to want me to, but I've been loving it.
You're right.
I loved it. I took it away to the seaside with me, and it was a really nice place to read it. Anyway, I've been working on 2 things that, coming back to taking care of yourself, I realized were mega for me. Boundaries, like what they are and where I falter at them, and what you said about expectations, having expectations of how a night at the Ali Pali go, having an expectations thinking, I know that Mental Health Mates is such an amazing community, and thank you for inviting me. And gosh, people are taking up their time this evening to not eat their dinner or eat their dinner while watching us. Hope I can say something useful. That is like sucking the joy out of it all. And so I've been working on that and boundaries. So when you said, how am I? I've sort of been, as well as just coping in a pandemic, and with all that entails, trying to focus in on a couple of things, boundaries and expectations. And it goes well, and sometimes it takes a step back. And I'm starting to feel, though, when it gets easier and feels nicer, and I go to bed at night thinking, whew.
Yeah. Nice things. It's nice things. It's important to do nice things. I remember, so Melissa has been a guest on Mad World, the first series. So you came on way back in 2017, and I remember you brought with you your amazing, like your version of a Bounty bar.
Yeah, good memory.
So Melissa is an amazing cook, chef. What's the official terminology?
Well, I used to overthink it and spend too much time thinking about it, and then I realized it doesn't matter.
Melissa,
so thank you for asking.
Melissa. But I always remember the thing that really struck with me, okay, because I often slip it. Food is this is a really important thing to talk about, actually, because food, I realized in my recovery from alcoholism and addiction, I realized the first thing I ever really quote unquote used on was food, and I've been open about binge eating and stuff. And I will sometimes go to that place of, I'm just going to go on Deliveroo and, order some crap, and it's easy, and I'm too tired, right? And I remember you talking about making yourself soup, and how it was like an act of love.
Yeah.
You made yourself the soup, and then you would batch cook it or freeze it or whatever and have it. And then you'd be like, I did this for me. I care about myself. And that has always stayed with me. And whenever
Has it really?
Yeah. And especially recently, because my binge eating really took off in lockdown. And which it just sort of makes sense. But recently, every time I want to go, should we just have Deliveroo? And that's fine. Like, I had some Deliveroo last night, and it's fine. Gosh. I was genuinely wiped out from Alexandra Palace, and then getting up and having to interview the Speaker of the House of Commons. Normal 24 hours of work. Anyway, but I go, no, what would Melissa do? Can you talk us through a bit about that? Because I think it's a really nice thing to turn food.
Oh yeah, sure.
Thing to something. It's a nurturing thing.
Yeah, I think I'm so glad that you like that. I think of it as anything I put in the freezer is a time capsule, isn't it? So it's like a little gift to yourself. I know I've got some cookie dough from about, health and safety wise, you know, if I were feeding you, I wouldn't feed you the 2-year-old cookie dough, but you know, it's for me, who cares? It's my my tummy, and it'll be fine. But I put little things in there, and then I do that crappy thing where I don't label it, but I can always work out what's what. But putting stuff in the freezer, however spacious or crammed your freezer is such a lovely thing. I don't know, I find it like, even just knowing it's there, I know I've got cookie dough in there, it makes me, I don't know, if it makes me feel like, oh, I remember the person that put it in, like a little gift. Oh, I won't eat all now, I'll save some for the busy times or the harder times or the lower times. And it's the same with soup. And quite often, I know you know this is, and I imagine loads of people here care as well, like, you know, we don't want to waste food. So quite a lot of the time, a soup for me becomes a hodgepodge, but a delicious one of whatever needs using up. And who wants to eat the same flavored soup 3 days in a row? Of course not. So then I put some into the freezer, and then, you know, maybe I'll defrost it in a month or so, or a couple of months or so. But however it sort of is, whether you like your soups chunky and you know, chunky and hearty, or you like them smooth and creamy and lovely, it kind of doesn't matter. It's about the act of putting it in. And also the best thing, I wrote loads of notes and I can't remember what they are now, but I wanted to say that for anyone listening, whether they love cooking or don't love cooking or would like to be a bit more kitchen confident, you could also be a bit cheeky. I don't think it's cheeky. And maybe just say to someone that you know that does like cooking, if you've ever got a few spare portions of soup, I've got a bit of space in my freezer. And people that love cooking almost always have a bit left over. So like, be brave and go, I'll take you a couple of extra portions. And maybe the next time you'll get them back with something else. Maybe you'll suggest a great mental health mates walk to take them on, or you'll remind them that an amazing TV show or podcast. I don't know. I just feel like it's sort of food sharing-y. I don't want to say karma because that's not right, but it's sort of infectious, this thing of sharing a bit extra. So, you know, Bryony, next time I see you, I'm going to give you a couple of extra portions of my soup, and you're going to put it in the freezer. And I just feel like the next time you do something, what would you give me?
Don't ask me for some portions of my soup, because you'll be like, Bryony, that's really kind. I would give you, okay, in return, what I would give you is some hugs.
Lovely.
I would send you, I'll give you some, I think what my thing of love is giving people books that really made an impact and made me see the world for the brilliant wide place it is, because I'm not an amazing cook, and you know what, I could beat myself up about that, but it's totally okay. Like, my husband is downstairs making dinner now, you know, and he likes that.
Yeah.
But I was going to say that, like, actually, because, you know, there's batch cooking, but what if you're at the stage, what if you're coming to this and you think you're not very good at cooking and you don't even know really where to start? But it is, you know, it is an act of love, it is an act of nurturing, and that is really important for our mental health. What would you say to people kind of starting at the beginning of this journey?
Well, I started cooking so late in life because, well, not so late in life, but for someone that's in food, I think I started quite late. That's because I'm the baby sister. My mum is an amazing cook, and she was always in a rush. So she wouldn't want people, you know, we didn't bake cupcakes together. She would just be like, get out of my way, I'm cooking, you know, lay the table. It was like that. And then my sister would help and I didn't. And it's complete shock to me that how old was I? 23. My sister and I fell into being private chefs for bands. Like, take that. I mean, and do you know why? It's surprising, and they're not. Their brief was, oh, we really want to have like really nourishing, comforting, energy boosting food because we're going back on tour. It was their second tour, I think. And we've been like looking around, and we can only find like chefs, like fancy food. We don't want fancy food. We want like curries, we want stuff we can pull out of our freezer. And we were just like, well, that's sort of what we do for ourselves and our friends. So that's how we fell into it. And so I've always felt really comfortable going, that's my niche. My niche. When people go, when I meet people, and I haven't met anyone for three years, but when I meet people, I sort of, oh, I'm a cook, and they'll go, what, do you work in a restaurant? No. What kind of food? And I go, well, just sort of like the food that you want to, like today, a blustery, windy walk. What do you want to eat when you come in from the blustery, windy walk? That's the sort of food I specialize in. And so for anyone that's starting, and I completely feel you, I would say, I'm trying to think of anything. I've got tons of free recipes on my website to begin with, so you can go and have a little look, but that can sometimes be overwhelming, can't it?
Your
One of the things I like,
Instagram, can I just say, like, because also you have, Melissa, such a, I genuinely, I need to say this to you, you have such a beautiful soul and such an incredible energy that just, it's impossible to come away from any time in your company, even online, and not feel that sort of, like I have had a warm, nurturing soup. Like, it really is. And but your Instagram also, like, because I'm not a foodie, but I do think, oh, that'd be really good. Oh yeah, that looks nice. A bit of that. But you've also got a new book, haven't you, coming out?
I do, not for a bit. And do you know what? I've just had this I've been really trying to tap into like random thoughts, because I do think they're like little inspirations from the magical clouds. I just had this thought, Bryony. I feel like, there's going to be big old street parties come June. Queen's birthday. Queenie. I feel like we need a big mental health mates food walk. Could we make that happen? Would anyone be up for it?
Yes.
Sometime in the summer.
I don't care if anyone else is up for it. I'm up for it.
Because
that's the nice. Well, actually, yeah, Corey's up for it.
Corey's there. Okay, you, me, and Corey. Come on, everyone. Tell us if you'd come, and we'll just meet by a tree. We'll tuck our cool bags behind a tree or in a bush. We'll go in our walk, and we'll come back, and we'll get all of our thermoses of stuff out. Kate's coming. Melissa's coming.
Do you know what? Actually, the very back at the very beginning of Mental Health Mates, I remember like the 6 months, to celebrate the 6 months, because we started in February, so it must have been like my brain, July. We had a big picnic on Clapham Common. I've still got pictures, right? And people bought cakes and things, and so we didn't go on any walks, but it was like a communal thing. I have a trestle table that I bought especially.
Get it out again. You know where it is.
And I remember my husband and coming and going like, this is what, but it was so nice. And we had balloons and people came, like friends came and did like yoga and stuff.
Oh, that's brilliant.
And I think that's a really nice idea, because the point is you have to, it's, part of it is coming together. The walks are like a nice, they're amazing to be able to and I know, Melissa, you've been on loads of the walks, and they are an amazing way to kind of like it's so that thing of you're outside and you need me, I know all of this, but I've been reminded of how much I need this after 10 days of isolating. Being outside, it's like, oh, the world is still spinning. Maybe everything my head's telling me isn't true, and they're walking side to side is brilliant, because there's not that much pressure. Like, I don't have to look you directly in the eyes and tell you all my truths and stuff, but also it is nice time. We couldn't, like, it's about getting out of the house. So if we just have a big picnic and you have to walk there, that would be nice.
Everyone's in. Liz is in. Rhea. Sorry, Ria, if I said your name wrong. Everyone's in. Awesome. What's this summer? Well, hang on. What year anniversary are you on?
I think we're 6 years this year.
That is such an amazing achievement. All the people that are here, all the volunteers, the walk leaders, amazing.
I know, and there are some walk leaders here tonight. Corey,
shout out to them. Thank you to them.
But like we didn't do, obviously the pandemic's been on, we didn't do a sort of 5-year anniversary thing, so maybe
let's make it happen.
Oh my god, this is everyone.
We did a walk together, the last one, was it the summer before the pandemic or the autumn before the pandemic? Yes, it was autumn, because you remember I fell down the stairs and I was in huge pain, and we did the Henley Literary Festival. Was it the Henley Literary Festival together?
Yes.
We did it with Pauna, and then you kicked off a walk. We had Reading Mental Health Mates.
Yes, and I had to go off to Harry and Meghan's house.
Yeah. I've just got to go. I've been summoned. And that was a gorgeous walk. You've been summoned. I don't know if anyone from Mental Health Mates Reading is here. I don't recognize the names, but that was gorgeous. And you said something that you said twice now, and I just want to pick up on it because it gives me so much like it makes me do that, because you said, I know all of this and I just need to keep being reminded. And you say in the book, and this is not a plan, I did not know I was going to go, I love your book, but I just wanted to do it because I did feel like, because we haven't caught up for a while, I felt like I was chatting to you in your book, and what did you say? But I just kept thinking, it's okay if we know it all and it doesn't stick, and we don't need to wait for the day when all the good stuff that we know we could do to help a bit sticks. We just need to be, every time that thought pops back into our head, like, go for a walk. It'd be really nice if you go for a walk, even 5 minutes, like just going, yeah, I'm off. We don't have to go, oh my God, I know that going on a walk make me feel better, or having a home cooked meal might, or eating a few more vegetables. Yeah, they'll all help a little bit, but they'll really help if we just go, oh, thanks for the reminder. And that's what I really love about Mental Health Mates. And I love when I'm scrolling or having a doom scroll, which I really realize is more often than not, and a Mental Health Mates post comes up, I just think, oh, probably someone else is having a doom scroll at this very moment. And we can all just, I don't know, go, right, what can I do? See, I'm struggling to make sense, but just go, okay, what could I do instead? The finger's going, right? You almost have to sort of make a little pact with yourself. My finger's going, it's off, the phone's down, okay, to soup, or to the door, or you wrote was it at the end of the book, and you wrote a lovely list of small things, thoughts you could say to yourself.
Because I do think you're right. I think that I think of my recovery from everything, that obsessive, but and it's all ongoing, and it is not linear, know. And some days I go backwards, and some days I'm like, wow, I'm really nailing this today, and actually the days when I'm going backwards are days actually when I am going to end up going forwards, if that makes sense, because the backwards days are the days where you grow and you move a bit further forward. Does that make sense?
Yes. So
it's not actually moving backwards. It's just sometimes we have to hurt, and we have to feel, pain is the aim is not to not feel pain and bad feelings. The aim is to kind of accept them and move on from them, and accept them, and you treat them healthily anyway. But I am basically, I think of myself like an iPhone, or maybe like I was going to make a judgment, like maybe a less sophisticated piece of technology, but I need to be charged up every day. So I go to sleep, and obviously that's woo, and that is a recharging, but it is not. I wake up and it's like day one again. It's like, what am I going to do? So every morning I wake up, and I try and wake up, and this is like a work in progress as well, but I try and wake up 20 minutes before everyone else wakes up, and I go and I have my coffee in the garden with a fag. Progress, not perfection. I have my moments, and when I have to pick up my phone, I have a few apps that are not that have, I'll pick up Insight Timer, which is full of I have an app called The Language of Letting Go, which I love.
We can write that down.
Based on a book by a woman called Melody Beattie, and it's all about codependency, but you can apply it to anything. And every day she gives you a little reading. You have a little. There's a little reading for each day. It's only a few paragraphs, and if I've got to pick up my phone, that has to be the first thing I pick up on my phone. Do you see what I mean? So I'm not.
So you make a little instead of just going no phone, you go, oh, here's something lovely to be in the phone to do.
Yeah, because we are going to pick up our phones. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the doom scrolling, which you hit on. I mean, I've had to kind of move myself away from Instagram a bit, because it becomes obsessive, and it feeds into my OCD, and it feeds into my alcoholism, you know. And I will use Instagram, you know, it's supposed to be about connectivity, but I will use Instagram to other myself and move myself away from people, because I will go, oh, my life isn't that good, or look at how many followers that person's got, or look how well that person's life is going. And actually what I need to be going, oh, isn't it wonderful that that person has these amazing things in their life, and I'm so happy for them, you know. That's instinctive. That is actually what I want to be doing. But it isn't like, Instagram isn't kind of it isn't, you know, social media sites aren't really sort of created to do that. They are I have a friend who says they're like, tobacco firms used to call cigarettes nicotine delivery devices, and social media is like dopamine delivery devices, right? So it's all about, oh look, I'm going to get a little dopamine hit because now I've done something and I've got more likes than the last post I did, and look, more people have followed me. And so it's addictive.
It happens to the best of us, doesn't it? It really does.
It is addictive. And I'm, you know, so for me, I have to use it in a healthy way, which is I go on there, I do a post if I have to do a post and then I you know, and I say thank you to people that send me lovely messages, and that's it. And then I leave.
Do you know what? It's interesting because I imagine loads of us on here tonight have got Instagram, because for one, we all follow Mental Health Mates on Instagram. That's probably how we heard about tonight, right? I had to set some really clear boundaries with myself. Then, interestingly, I like how you described a boundary in the book. You say, I'm your fangirl. Bryony, and I quote, said, Instagram's like things that Instagram. How funny, I just said Instagram. Boundaries. On one side, things that are good for you will make you feel better. And how did you describe it in the book? Here I am saying, and you basically, the boundary, right? Things that are good for me. So I with a book coming out, and you've got so many now, or whatever anyone's sort of big project deadline is that they've been working towards, it's such an interesting one. I wonder if any of my publishers are joining the talk. I don't care, because I've said it to them now and I've put it out there, and now it's great. But this is my 5th book, and if I reflect on the other ways that I have brought out books, I've been so grateful to have a book contract. I've been so grateful to be given the chance. I felt so grateful to be in the food space, because I didn't feel like I earned it, because for a while I was very conscious. That's why when you said, are you a cook or a chef? I was like, I didn't sweat. I didn't chop onions for 10 years and work my way up. Am I allowed to be here? But I said yes to everything, because I was happy to be asked, because I love books, because I love bookshops. And I think I would just push it too far each time. And you can write a book for a year or year and a half, then you publish it and go on tour. That can take about as long as that. And then how long is it going to take you to recover? And of course, these books don't make us millionaires. We do all our other jobs as well as the books, and we try and live life and take care of ourselves. And this year, because the book's called Feel Good especially, but this year, I just said to my publishers when they started going, oh, so you loved doing all that last year and the last 5 years, so we just replicate that and add more on. And I just went, okay, yep. And I had meant to say in that meeting, I can't do it. I'm not going to do it, but I will do this. And I didn't. And then went home, told my boyfriend that I hadn't done it, how disappointed I was with myself for not going through with my boundary. And he said, but you can just go back and say, I meant to say this. It's not set in stone. And our good friend Donna Lancaster always says, say the line, even though I said. And that's so powerful, because I don't know if anyone else relates, but just because you said something, you can take it back, because it's your life. So I love the line that she says, even though I said. So hello everyone, even though I said I would sign up and do 50 bookshops and 25 festivals, booking me all the way up to December 2022. Actually, I'm going to have to do X amount. That's been a big one for me. And actually, even as I say it, I can feel myself getting hot, remembering how I felt delivering that. And they were like, cool.
That resonates so hard.
Does it?
I had a recent thing with work where I agreed to do something a few months ago, and I realized I couldn't do it, and so then I had to go, I can't work like this isn't working, and then they were like, okay, that's fine, thanks for letting us know. And I was like, no, but you don't understand, because I prepared,
let me explain it all
thing. And they were like, Bryony, it's really fine, like we totally get it. And I was like, wow, I've put down a boundary. And then, because previously I'd put down a boundary, and then I'd like, if I was able to put down a boundary, and then I'd like apologize for putting down the boundary, and I basically pick up the boundary and like rip it back up again, you know.
So Donna would say that's mixed messaging with your boundaries, and so people then are just like, oh, so your boundaries don't mean anything. It's so interesting. We're talking, everybody, about Donna Lancaster, who ran a course, a short course called The Bridge, and I want to just quickly say, because Bryony, you said lovely things to me tonight, and not because I feel like I have to repay the favor, but because genuinely I just want to explain why I love being here with all these mental health mates, lovers that we all are. Because if I trace back key moments in my life over the last 5 years, and you just reminded me 2017 when I went on Mad Girl with you, because you and I had met at a panel for a magazine, a live event, where we were talking about mental health then, and I was really nervous, and then you asked me to go on Mad Girl, and I just thought I can't, because I love Mad Girl, and I won't be able to I'll be crap, basically, in a nutshell. When we talked and then we had a cry at the end, I felt like such, not just a weight on my chest, like a truck, like a kind of car dump, all the cars that get squished at the car dump on my chest feel a little bit lighter. And it's so funny, because I remember telling my mum and feeling nervous, because I talked a lot about my dad and how he died, and I just thought, my mum's just going to go mad. How can you talk about something, it's, you know, sacred, it's your dad and personal, private? And I just thought, I'm just going to park that for a second. I did that for me, and hopefully maybe someone else listening, but really I did it for me. And you didn't encourage me, you just let me feel safe. You didn't even encourage me, you just let me feel safe to do what I wanted. And I still get people messaging me and saying, I loved your episode, and you helped me with that. And then that led to me going on the Bridge retreat, which is a place you can go if you're struggling with grief, as I'm sure most of us who struggle with grief do. It's not easy. And then it's led to so many other things. And then it's led to me bringing out a book that touches very gently on mental health and food. And the reason it only touches gently, and I'll be honest here, is because my publishers, and I see their point, they're like, it's a cookbook. We're a cookbook publisher. It's got to be about the food. And that's true. But I can still, as I talk about the book and do all the things around it and all the videos and interviews and stuff, be about it. But I just want to say thank you, Bryony, because you making me feel safe in 2017 when you didn't know me and I didn't know you, but I was your fan, you've helped me feel a bit braver. So thank you very much.
Thank you. The bridge, it's a shame it doesn't exist anymore. I went on the bridge in 2019 and it was amazing, and I could do with going on the bridge now, like right now, just getting everyone going, should we go on the bridge? And the bridge was a sort of retreat where you do a lot of inner work, and it was amazing. And I
as a group, which were you a bit scared of doing it as a group? I was a bit scared. I guess you had worked in groups before.
No, but there's a lot of
I know what you mean.
It isn't linear, and I can feel it's amazing. And I think the other thing with recovery is that you crack open as you need to, and the layers come as they need to come off. And I feel like I've got a layer coming off right now, not like visibly on screen, but something's happening. And I, with the pandemic, and I've known, again, like in my head, that isolating isn't good for you, and that I've sort of been using it as an excuse to isolate. But it really like fell to my heart and my soul in isolation, because my OCD came back so badly for the first time since I got sober, but I realized actually it didn't really ever go away. It just shape shifted, you know, as these things do. And you know, and that's an amazing thing to learn. Like I am always learning, like like that's the thing. Like I don't like I'm 41 now. Like, wow, I think to myself, I'm excited to like get to 50 and be like, what have I learned in the last 9 years? And I look back at me in 2017 talking to you, and I was, you know, I was still drinking then. I was really unwell, you know, but like you know, and I've learned so much in that intervening time, but I will learn so much again. And I've learned so much because it's like you're just willing to be on the journey, I guess. And do you know what I mean? Like it's because I've met people like you and people like Corrie the Wortley, you know, and people through mental health mates that I'm continuously learning. And I don't know everything. I don't know anything. In fact, the more I like work in the mental health space, the longer I work in the mental health space, the less I realize I know. And it's that, but that is like a nice thing. It isn't like a negative thing. It isn't like, oh, I'm useless, I'm a fraud. It's like, wow, what more can I learn? Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? I've gone off piste here a bit, but
no, I agree. I also feel like I sort of feel a bit calmer now, because I was feeling I'm not used to speaking in long sentences. It makes sense. I really haven't, because writing, you know, my background is cookery books, so there's not as much writing. I wish there was more. To be honest, I write, I don't want to swear, shizloads. And then my editor just comes and just takes it all out. And then I go, oh, that does actually sound quite nice and snappy. But, you know, there's a lot gone. I know they've got to do that, though. But what I was going to say was, what am I trying to say? I know that you didn't invite me on to sort of impart pearls of wisdom, and that's what I want to say, because
exactly why I invited you on.
No, because the supposed pearls of wisdom relate back to what you just said, which is so interesting. And I agree, if the more we know, the more we're sort of got a chance to learn. All I can keep coming back to is it's so funny, because meditation, right, you said, paraphrasing, that it doesn't necessarily always work for you. It's not necessarily your thing, right? And I learned to meditate 12 years ago, and I used to beat myself up. I paid to go on a course, because you can learn to meditate for free, and now we've got apps and stuff, you don't need to go anywhere. But I paid really good money, and I found it very helpful at the time. And then I used to say fell off the wagon, which, you know, and then I'd just be like, oh well, you know, I can't do it all. Trying to eat well, look after myself, exercise, blah blah blah. And then it became this block, because I used to be good at meditating. I used to be able to get it, and now I can't, so I'm just not going to try. And I'm only talking about meditation in this instance because I have been doing a little bit of it, but I found different ways to do it. So for example, I was just on the old internet search, and I found like a chanting one. And I was just like, oh my God, you know, when you check all the windows are closed in your house because you just don't want the neighbors to think. And the thing I liked about the chanting one, if anyone's ever done it, or just like singing, isn't singing great, even if you're not a great singer, because it's all the you know, well, you just listen to someone play the music. That's why I love cello music so much, because I feel with cello, you really feel it in your body vibrating. But I just did a little bit. I found some chanting and I did it, and it was brilliant. And I thought to myself, I wish I hadn't shut that off, that the whole of meditation wasn't right for me anymore. And I sort of gave it a little go. Ria says again, Ria, I'm so 100%. Liz has done the bridge. Sorry, we're just catching up with you all. Gillian, Instagram program on last night, BBC Three. I'm going to check that out. Liz, brilliant.
Gillian also says that you said you're not being able to summarize. Did you say that you couldn't summarize? Is meant to be a sign of perfectionism.
Who said that?
Gillian.
Yeah. I can't see Gillian's comment, but that's so interesting. Because I'm trying to edit myself, Gillian, aren't I? Which I just should let it flow.
You meditate, because you're fantastic. Meditation, you see, I have, I find it hard, but you're right, it's not, I can't close my head off to it. I think meditation is it's often offered to people when they're in crisis, and it's not actually that helpful when you're in crisis. It's actually something it's for later down the line. And so my only reservation is not about meditation per se. It's about how it's kind of offered as this cure-all for everything, when actually what people need is proper therapy and treatment. But I have found, because I can sit still and quietly now, but I have found the thing I love is an app called Insight Timer.
You mentioned that, and I didn't write it down the first time.
I'm going to put it on the chat again, because it's free and it has thousands of free meditations and courses and things. But it also has this amazing woman on it called, it's got Tara Brach on it, but it's also got an amazing woman, and I'm going to write the name in, called Sarah Blondin. And she does meditations that aren't really meditations. What they are is her talking for like 12 minutes with some beautiful music in the background.
Oh, that sounds great.
And sort of, I suppose they're what you'd call guided meditations. And then for about 2 minutes at the end, she'll go, if you want, close your eyes, we're going to take a breath. Do you know what I mean? And that's really helped me, because it's like the beginner, do you know what I mean? And then what I find is I listen to like talks on there from people like Tara Brach and about rain, and I listen to that while I'm like walking to the tube station or whatever, or going somewhere. And that to me is like my version of meditation, because it's my mind, it's stilling my mind enough and opening my mind up to allow other people's thoughts and other people's opinions in, without getting bogged down in it, for me. And I think that's something I love and I recommend. But that whole thing of, am I good at meditation? Like,
that's it. That's, even though I totally hear you on the meditation. And what's interesting is I even today haven't meditated, and I caught myself, because I've got into a little routine, I caught myself going, well, I haven't meditated. Who cares? There's not a meditation school teacher going to tell me off. But it's funny how certain things can really pat you on the back, and then maybe go, oh, well, you didn't do that today. Little bit of me goes, maybe try and do it tomorrow. But I'm not going to beat myself up like that. The only thing I sort of do pretty religiously is go on my walk. And I know you know that. And
so let's talk about that.
Let's talk about walk. But one thing I wanted to say as well is, just before we started, this guy called Tony, funnily enough, fun fact, used to be my ex-boxing teacher, and now he's on Instagram as the natural lifestylist. And he wrote this really lovely, I just caught it, and he said, for those of us that love going on walks, let's say we do half an hour or an hour or whatever, he says, what nature benefits are we getting 23 hours, the other 23 hours of the day? And he was talking about nature, bringing nature into the house, into the home. And just when you said about guided meditations, I thought to myself, one thing I love doing is I love finding music where you've just got like the cheap, or like the sound of rain hitting like the canopy in a jungle. And then I do waves. We were talking about Cornwall, if you caught us at the beginning, waves in the evening. So if, for those of us, I bet all of us mental health mates love nature, finding those can be lovely, because sometimes I find I love classical music, but sometimes I can find it can make me extra low and sad, or particularly emotional, and maybe I'm on not that vibe. And I found that listening to nature music, and I'm not talking about dolphins squealing,
which is
also lovely. But yeah, back to walks.
So hang on though, but Gillian, again, I'm loving Gillian this evening. She's on the Q&A. She's been putting her thoughts in on the Q&A. She suggests sound baths with solfeggio frequencies are good, not too high frequency.
Awesome.
we might need to get some sound bath gonging stuff. Now we're coming up towards 7. We've been chatting for so long. I love
need
it.
a mental health mates playlist. Do we have one of them?
No, don't listen. There's like there are so many places that we want to take mental health mates, and that you know it's about finding, you know, if I could do mental health mates full time and just work for mental health mates,
I'd join you.
Be pretty damn happy. But yeah, but let's definitely do this picnic. And this we are going to action. The last one I did with Sean, we were going to go for a mental health mates cold water swim, but he's gone suspiciously quiet on that.
I saw that. I spotted that.
But this is all about well, he's been filming loads, but this is all about like getting out. Like, it doesn't have to be walks, and it doesn't have to be, you know, it's about finding the thing that works for you, enables you to connect with nature and with each other. And nature is each other, you know. We are all living, breathing things.
We are nature.
We are nature. And I like, you've got a nice pot plant in the background there.
No, you could see that far. What else can you see?
And Corey has said, look, this is the other great thing about these webinars is that people like chime in. And Gillian has suggested about the picnic. Can we all do it in our different areas, but together the same day?
Oh, that's lovely.
I think that's a really good idea. So it can be like a mental health mates, have your own picnic, you know, in your own area, because it is the Platinum Jubilee in May. We used to get 2 bank holidays in May. Did we always get 2 bank holidays?
So doesn't the one that was supposed to be at the end of May, because that's always that's going into June?
I don't know.
Could be exciting people. Someone tell us how many bank holidays we're getting this year.
We're definitely getting a little bit extra thanks to Queenie.
But it is getting outside. And do you know what the best thing about the bank holidays will be? I've always wanted this. I want a street party. You know, I want that old school thing where your trestle table, everybody's trestle table. We know Bryony's got one. We're all going to have to get one. I just love the idea of people. And I've seen people do them all the time. I always miss my street has one. And it's always the weekend that I end up in Cornwall. But I can't think of anything lovelier. Bit of dancing. Oh, hello there. How's it going?
I'm on a webinar.
Dinner in a minute. Oh, can I just throw one thing in, that because we were talking about meditation as just a thing that I had found helpful, and then I started to beat myself up for not doing it, and then I've sort of gently got back into it, and I've been exploring different types because there are so many. I just wanted to say I stopped watching Strictly. I don't know why. I mean, I loved it when it was Bruce Forsyth. And then this year, I think because of the pandemic, I don't know about anyone else, it really got into my very bones. Absolutely love AJ Adudu. And do you know what I did? Because when it was like really rainy or whatever it was, I can't remember why I wasn't going out as much for my walk. I wasn't as motivated, let's say. I was going shorter walks. I found some Otzi Mabusi dance classes on the internet for free, and I just want to shout out to anyone, because no one can see you dance. The music's amazing. We did one routine called J-Lo Let's Get Loud. I say me and Otzi, but it was filmed like 2 years before, and I just want to throw that in for anyone that would like to move their body, loves music, and wants to just move their body for 20 minutes. I meant to say that.
There exists somewhere on the internet.
Yes.
It's terribly embarrassing, which is the one time I was allowed out of the house last year. I went on BBC Morning Live, and Jeanette Manara
I'll wait to find this straight after this.
And you know, they do like a Strictly at home exercise every day, and then I had to do the exercise with Jeanette.
What was it?
It was like chair. It was like chair Strictly or something, and I was like, fine, we're gonna do this on national television. Let's go for it.
Love it. Oh my god.
That was
loving the comment section. Belly dancer, brilliant. You're gonna have to come and do some belly dancing.
We're gonna get
mental
you
health mates event.
Yeah. I've loved this so much.
I've loved it.
I apologize for that.
No, it was great to see her.
So to wrap things up,
Yes.
Melissa, where can we follow you if we're going to healthily use Instagram?
Oh, well, if you'd like a bit of a park away from Instagram, you can just go onto my website, melissahemsley.com. Also, what I quite like, I don't have much tech on my website, but the one thing I think is quite good is, don't we all love a good search button? So in the search button, maybe you can just go into your fridge and go, well, all I've got is 1 carrot, half a broccoli, a couple of mushrooms, and some leftover cheese. And you could just put some of this into my search button, and hopefully you should have loads of free recipes come up, because I love cooking that way, cooking with what you've got. You know, my last book, I know you said you like to eat green. It's about using up what you've got. And I think that's a great thing. If you don't fancy heading to the shops, that just is not what you want to do. And you want to use what you've got already and you're hungry. Cooking in that way is really good as well. I've talked a lot about soups, but I do love things like a fridge raid frittata. And you said a fridge raid frittata, which is quite hard if you've got big teeth like me. And you asked me a question which I didn't answer at the very beginning, which is, what if people are very new to cooking? I would say my favorite thing, because I guess we've all got a grater. Everyone got a grater. Whatever the veg is, from a potato, carrot, squash, turnip, beetroot, grate it. Mix it with gram flour, which is chickpea flour. It's really inexpensive. You can get it anywhere. Chickpea flour, or whatever flour you've got, and maybe a little bit of spice or a herb, or just good old plain salt and pepper. And you turn them into fritters. You don't even need an egg, and you fry them. And they are so delicious, hot, as you can imagine, crispy and salty, and they're amazing cold. And I just make a stack of them at the beginning of the week in the fridge with whatever veg needs using up, and I just munch on them, and they are so lovely. And you can turn them into a bigger meal with a salad and more veggies. So fritters, if you go onto my website, any veg, or Google any veg fritters, recipe will come up.
Love this.
That'll make you hungry.
Yeah, I'm actually starving.
What's for tea?
Okay.
Did you say, please could I have it ready at 7 p.m?
Yes, I did. I've got turkey mince balls. My
Yummy.
Obsessed with turkey mince balls, and they are quite delicious. And then he does this like cauliflower, it's like mash, but it's cauliflower with loads of like garlic. Yeah. Anyway, he loves it. My husband's like, and I'm just like, sure, but he'll make like tiny amounts. I'm like, can we have more turkey meatballs? Less cauliflower mash. And then we're gonna watch Euphoria just to turn my stomach.
I've never watched it. That's on my list.
It's not. Listen, if the crime dramas are stressing you out, I would leave it. I would just leave it. Just park it. You don't need it.
Can I throw a TV show into the mix for anyone that wants something relaxing and nature filled? I think there's only 2 episodes. I've only watched 2, and it's called The Wild Gardener, and it's on BBC One, and it's a guy, and I forget his name. I stumbled across it, and his father was the big gardening legend on Irish TV, and then he's now rewilding an acre of land, and within a month the birds are back. He's put a little pond in, there's frogs coming in, there's wildflowers everywhere, and I think he's a documentary filmmaker. If you just want a feast of nature for your eyes and a relaxing, gorgeous accent, that's quite a nice one to watch for tonight.
Oh, I love it.
Wild Gardener.
Maybe I'll do that instead of Zendaya.
I love Zendaya.
So, Melissa, we're going to have our picnics up across the country, MHM picnics. I'm going to message you so I can see you before then. I want to, because we've got like 2 minutes left, and I need to say some housekeeping things, right? And one of them is that one of the great things we've got going on Mental Health Mates this month. So we've partnered with Jules, lovely Jules, who are supporting us, which we are so grateful for.
Brilliant.
And it's Valentine's Day coming up, and Valentine's Day was actually the date of the first Mental Health Mates Walk 2016, and it was about connecting with other people. Valentine's Day is a shit day, right? Whether you're single or attached, you know, it just never lives up to the expectations, right? So which is why I chose that as the first day of the first mental health mates walk. But anyway, we've decided to utilize that a bit and grow with it so that people don't feel alone on Valentine's Day. And we're going to be doing something called Be My Mental Health Mate, and it's about using Valentine's Day to connect with another person in a like a platonic, loving mental health way. And there'll be more details about that on our Instagram and on the website, mentalhealthmates.co.uk. Will you be my mental health mate this Valentine's Day, Melissa?
I'm about to burst into tears. I'd absolutely love to. That is a fantastic idea. Brilliant.
A week. When is Valentine's Day? Next week. So
Be my mental health, next Monday, isn't it? Be my mental health mate.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh, that's brilliant, Bryony.
Well, I didn't come up with
Amazing.
it. I can't take any credit for it. It was the brilliant people at Jules and our mental health mates team. But Melissa, thank you so much for coming along tonight.
And thank you, gang in the chat. Thank you for all of your. I think I've written down every single comment. I hope so. I'm just gonna have one last scan. Yeah. Thanks, everyone. Have a gorgeous dinner too.
And this will be recorded. This is recorded, so we'll put up the bits of it on the website so that people can like watch back. I'm saying that, and then there's someone working for Mental Health Mates going, "You've completely overcommitted, Bryony. We can't do that."
No, because I watched the Sean one, and I in the bath tonight.
Okay, so then it will be up there. It's good.
Yeah,
I know mine. It's happening. There we go. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks, Bryony, and I hope to see everyone's faces soon. And hope everyone takes care and has a lovely evening.
Melissa, you're better than a warming soup. You're just everything, and I love you. And I genuinely, this is my thing that came from my head to my heart, which is I need to be out connecting with people, and you are first on my list.
That's lovely.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everyone. This has been really special. I'm really about to go and have a big cry. Thank you. This has been really lovely. Thank you.
Thanks, my love. Big kisses, everyone, and we'll see you next
time.
Bye,
Marion. Bye, Corey. Bye, Kate. Bye, Gillian. Bye. Bye, everyone.